Adrianna Hutto was a young, 7-year-old girl who lived in the very small town of Esto, Florida. She grew up living with her mom, Amanda Lewis, and her younger half-brother, AJ. Adrianna was always active and very hyper because she had ADHD, attention deficit/hyperactivity disorder. This caused her to hardly ever sit down and always have to be doing something. There was one occasion where Adrianna drew on her mother's car with a permanent marker. Her mom was always very frustrated at Adrianna, even though she couldn't help that she had ADHD. Her brother AJ was the complete opposite. He was very quiet, mellow, and stayed out of trouble because of it. Also, I would like to let everyone know that the following parts are what Amanda claimed to happen, and that there is no foolproof evidence supporting that all of what she claimed is true. It is also very important to note that many neighbors, friends, and family all reported that Adrianna was deathly afraid of water and that it was hard to get her to go near it. On August 8, 2007, their mother, Amanda Lewis, claimed to be getting ready to go school supply shopping later that day. She let Adrianna and AJ go out to play in the backyard. Since they had an above-ground pool in the backyard, 18 feet wide, 4 feet deep, she made sure to tell her kids not to go in it or near it while she wasn't out to supervise. Amanda also locked the pool ladder in the shed because she wasn't around. Amanda, who claimed to be inside at the time, said that AJ came running in and said, "Mom, Adrianna is in the pool." She figured that Adrianna was only playing near the pool and that she wasn't actually inside the pool. Instead of going out to see her, Amanda stayed inside and kept getting ready. This is a big red flag. For a mom claiming to be very worried about her kids going in the pool, I think it's odd that she didn't even go outside to go check on her kids and make sure they were okay. Amanda reported that AJ went back outside. After a while, she went outside to make sure they were doing okay, because she hadn't heard from them in a while and things seemed kind of quiet. When she walked outside, she saw Adrianna in the pool and AJ nearby trying to get her out. Amanda said that she immediately called 911 after seeing her because Adrianna wasn't moving. Listen to Amanda's call to 911.
I need an ambulance. What's wrong, ma'am? My daughter fell in the pool and she's not breathing. And she's not breathing? How old is she? She's 7 years old. All right, hang on just a second, ma'am. Oh, God. Her lips are purple. What do I do? Water's just coming out of her nose. Please, hurry.
The police and paramedics arrived soon after the call and thought that there was a chance Adrianna might still be alive, so they rushed her to the nearby Bay Medical Hospital. Amanda went to the hospital with her daughter, while AJ went with his grandparents. The doctor was explaining Adrianna's condition to Amanda and asked her if she had any questions. Amanda then asked, "Where is the vending machine?" Shortly after, Adrianna was sadly pronounced dead. What happened at the hospital is another big red flag. Amanda showed no concern for her dying daughter, and all she could think about was where the vending machine was at. The doctors working there claimed that Amanda showed zero emotion. When the police officers and CSIs began investigating the crime scene, they found a wagon filled with the water next to the pool and a little pan floating in the pool. Their theory was that Adrianna brought the wagon over to the pool so that she could reach inside of the pool and use the pan to fish for bugs. Then they thought she accidentally fell in, hit her head, and drowned. To them, this made perfect sense because that seems like something a young child would do, especially since Adrianna had hyperactivity. This theory didn't make much sense though because, like I had mentioned earlier, Adrianna was reported to be deathly afraid of water. The police thought it was an accidental drowning. Nothing seemed suspicious. To many people, it did look like an accident until further investigation was done. Police started to do further investigation on Amanda and interviewed many other witnesses. They began to realize that Amanda's kids were most likely abused and neglected. When they searched the house, it was a filthy mess and smelled like urine. Officers also noticed that there were no toys in the house, which is odd considering that a 6- and 7-year-old were living there. When they asked Amanda about this, she claimed she took away their toys as a punishment and was going to give them back within the week. She told them that she put them in the shed before they would get them back. Police officers checked the shed and found no toys. Other witnesses have claimed that Amanda neglected Adrianna and AJ. When they were questioned, they reported that Adrianna and AJ weren't fed at times and that they had behavioral issues, which caused Amanda to lash out at them and punish them. Officers working on the investigation found out that Amanda Lewis actually had another kid before Adrianna and AJ, who died mysteriously. When her child was only a baby, Amanda claimed to have left the room for a while to go do something. When she came back, her baby wasn't breathing. Doctors thought that maybe the baby had a seizure, but nobody was completely sure about what actually happened. Looking back, investigators believed that Amanda might have had something to do with her baby's mysterious death. About 4 hours after their investigation, they got a call from AJ and Adrianna's grandparents. They said that AJ was saying things that were concerning and that he needed to talk to officers immediately. Keep in mind that AJ was outside when all of this happened, meaning that he was the only witness. Soon after the call, AJ went to talk to the police. Here is the clip of his interview with the police and what he claimed.
Who threw her in the pool? My mama. Mama threw who in the pool? My sister. And then what happened when she threw her in the pool? She started holding her face.
In this clip, he didn't act like he just saw his sister die because he was only 6 years old at the time and probably too young to be able to process something so traumatic like that. There are some people that believe that he's lying and that he made the whole thing up. But why would a young child lie about something like that? Of course, he exaggerated some parts of it, but his main story stayed the same, that Adrianna was dunked by their mother. Amanda heard about AJ's testimony. She said that AJ just has a big imagination and that he made the whole story up. Amanda stuck to her story that she was inside when everything happened, but she ended up being charged in September. Later on, she was asked to take a polygraph test and she agreed and passed. Polygraph tests are very hard to pass when someone is lying. Over time, AJ's story started to change. He said things that didn't make sense and sometimes even said that Adrianna was actually fishing bugs out of the pool, but he was the only witness and had to be used as the main piece of evidence. This caused a lot of controversy. Some people thought that a 6-year-old was too young to testify in a murder trial, but he was the one that ran the case when they went to trial. Many people thought, how could a child determine the fate of an adult? He was able to keep the main story straight for the most part, but it was probably hard for him. He had to retell the story during trial months later in February of 2008. Amanda was offered a plea bargain. This meant that if she pleaded guilty, even if she really didn't do it, she would avoid the trial completely and receive a lesser sentence. In this case, she was offered a 10-year sentence. Amanda stuck to her story and continued to claim that she didn't kill Adrianna. During the trial, AJ was testified and stuck to his story. Here are clips of AJ testifying during the trial. Keep in mind, in the beginning, he had no idea that his mom was in the courtroom. Some things were inconsistent, but the trial was held months later. It was probably hard for him to keep up with questions and remember what really happened. Remembering information of a traumatic event is very difficult, and people tend to block out certain parts of it. I think that's probably why his story is inconsistent at times. At the same time, kids can make things up and convince themselves that they witnessed something that they actually didn't after a traumatic event. Either way, the most credible story is AJ's first interview. The bruises that the medical examiner found were consistent with what AJ had said, making him so much more credible. After the trial was held, Amanda Lewis was found guilty of murdering her daughter, Adrianna. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, meaning that she would stay in prison for the rest of her life and there was no way out of it. AJ has been adopted. Thankfully, he now has a great, supportive, and loving family. He is also doing well in school. I truly believe that Adrianna was murdered by her mother, Amanda Lewis. Maybe she got upset at Adrianna for doing something and did dunkings as a punishment, except it went too far this time. I believe that most of what AJ was saying is true, especially after I heard the medical examiner's testimony. Was Amanda upset at Adrianna over something? Did she intentionally kill her, or was it an accident? Whether Adrianna accidentally drowned or murdered by Amanda, it is truly a tragic story. What are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear everyone's opinions in the comments. Have a great rest of your day.